It's 8:02 Friday morning tea time. It's time for Island Tea. This is Jamster. I've got my one of my co-hosts here with me. It's Candy. What's up?
Good morning. TGIF.
And TGIF.
We're here again.
Funny how no one ever says TGIM like on an Easter Monday. You know,
no.
it's somehow it's still.
No, we could probably be sleeping on
Still
Easter
doesn't
Monday.
work, right?
No, it's definitely TGIF.
And I don't think anybody says it on Good Friday either. You know, because of the solemn equation.
I know.
You know?
I'm thinking what did I say on Good Friday? I'm trying to remember. I was actually up working, so yeah. It definitely would not have been TGIF.
I could take a stab.
Let's hear.
Oh God, did I remember to soak the saltfish last night? No.
Trust me, I had like a major balloon installation to do. So yeah, it's like, did I pack all the balloons that I would need? Okay. But no, I'm happy it's Friday. I'm definitely pumped. I need that rest. We had a short week and I felt it. So today my quote is short, like the week. So our positivity for today is trust the magic of new beginnings. Short and to the point. Trust the magic of new beginnings. And one of the reasons why I like this is because people often think that new beginnings have to be like some major activity. It could simply mean tomorrow. Tomorrow is a new day. It's a new beginning.
Start there,
right? Mm-hmm. Trust the magic of new beginnings. Mm-hmm. And I feel extra happy and hyped this morning because I want to talk about music festival.
I figured that was coming.
Listen, so when I left here yesterday, I was like, I need to be either in the car or in my office because I have to hear when these names drop. And then something distracted me and I missed when they were calling them out. So I only saw like the clipping after because I went directly to their page. And I'm like scrolling through. I'm like, thought they said Burna Boy was going to be here. And then at the very end, they just slip in Burna Boy. I was like, yes, I'm going to music festival.
They left that.
So like, I liked the first lineup. I like Chronics. I like Air Supply, your favorite.
Yes.
I like the first wave. But this second wave is lit. How do you feel about it?
Well, I have mixed feelings about it. It's
of
okay,
course.
But I feel like it's more quantity over quality, which is not to say, this is almost verbatim what I said to somebody yesterday, which is not to say there's no quality. I'm just saying there's more quantity than quality.
Are we going to fight? Are we going to have a fight?
No,
because
wait, no.
Kess is on that list.
No, but that's what I'm saying. But you see, when people say things, people comprehend it in absolutist terms. I'm not saying there's no quality.
Clarify that statement.
I'm saying there's quality,
quick.
but the quantity is something you notice right off the bat.
This is true.
You're
this
like, damn, that's a lot.
A lot.
That's what I'm saying. So my point, and then I'm going to go on to make my point is, I really thought that there should have been another international act there. I mean,
like who?
Air Supply ain't it? I'm sorry.
You're still on my Air Supply.
Air Supply ain't it? You know, someone said something to me last night, which when I thought about it, the person was right. The person says, you know, a lot of these people, a lot of the music, the happening music today isn't played on the radio. And a lot of these people who are organizing these music festivals, they don't know the music. And they assume that just because a lot of the current music isn't being played on the radio, that the people don't know the music, and they end up sticking with what they know. And now I'm gonna editorialize here and add in parentheses, hence Air Supply.
Please leave Air Supply
so
alone.
Burna Boy is cool, but with a caveat.
All right, so
he's been all over. He's been St. Martin.
But he hasn't been to St. Kitts.
That's true. But
so to me, that's like end all, be all. It's our turn because he went to Suriname, he went to St. Martin, he went to Antigua.
Suriname, I didn't even know about that.
Hello, it's our turn. But I take your point that the list is long, but I'm thinking it's a quarter of a century. It's our 25th anniversary. We have to go out with a bang. right? That's one. Two, I was happy to see a lot of the local acts on it, like Erica Edwards and TJ, not TJ, Mr. Bagnall, Nicha B. Like, I was happy to see that they featured a lot of our local acts, because I'm thinking, this is our 25th anniversary. This is a Sing Kids product. And so musicians should benefit from it. This is our chance for us to be on the world stage. People are going to come in. You never know who's going to get that big break, right? So I was happy to see a lot of the local acts on it. And I take your point with the quantity, but, you know, for me, I'm thinking, well, it is our 25th anniversary, so it's either go big or go home. But you're saying that, you know...
This is precisely my point.
But who would you have added to this list? Because I think it's a pretty decent list.
Here's what I'm saying. This is the 25th anniversary, right? Marsha at one point said, I remember when she had the first press conference, it might have been January or something, and she said, she sort of said, well, you know, it's a 25th anniversary, and she actually used the term best of, right? Which actually I don't think is really it's not really the best approach for a landmark year for the St. Kitts Music Festival. But I think I understood what she meant.
Right,
she
best
probably
of
meant
the 25 years.
Yeah, I think she probably meant that they wanted to maybe bring back a few of the artists who went down really well.
Right, well, I think
right?
Ike
so
alluded
Chris
to
Brown.
that yesterday.
So, Chris Brown. Chris Brown is still very current. Chris Brown is Mr. Cameo King. I mean, he's on everybody's song, right? And that's for a reason, because he's a very compelling artist. We had Chris Brown. Actually, we had Chris Brown just when he was starting out, and I actually thought that if they had reached out to Chris Brown, for example, I'm not even convinced that he might not have said, even for sentimental reasons, okay, I'll knock off $10,000, $20,000.
But you don't know if they did. That's it.
And
we don't
know.
have any stats. But I'm thinking, so Ike was in here yesterday. He is big in the entertainment industry. And two of the things that he mentioned that stood out to me. One, we don't have stats for a lot of things here. Because based on what you're saying now, where Marsha said best of, could it be that they actually pulled stats to see what the response was, why they chose these persons? Because especially where the first wave is concerned,
if they did,
these persons were here before. Air Supply always has a good turnout, right? I know Chronix was here before. Patrice was here before, and then we had Coffee booked since before COVID
I
issues.
think Chronix and Coffee were because of the fact that they had to forego that festival. And,
so that's one aspect of it. But then if we're going to go based on what he said and what Marsha mentioned, maybe these are what they're thinking of in terms of the best of what we've had over the years, and so they're good enough to do a repeat.
Yeah, but I find it hard to believe that if they actually did a scientific survey, actually based on empiricals and actual speaking to an actual reasonable size sample, that Air Supply would have been what? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Nope.
You're cracking me up
Just
this morning.
nope.
But one of the other things to keep in mind as well is budget. Because
Yes.
I heard Burna Boy is pretty expensive. So you kind of have to balance the budget along with crowd pleasers. And let me tell you, when persons saw Burna Boy, Dexter Daps, and those type of persons on this list, they went crazy. I'll tell you, I was actually in the salon, and all the ladies in the salon, young and old, were talking about this list. And it was like Dexter Daps, it was Burna Boy, it was, oh my God, Ricardo Drew. So I think they maybe have put out feelers out there. And so they try to balance the budget that they had to work with along with crowd pleasers.
Someone from Antigua sent me a WhatsApp last night, said, what happened to Claudette Peters from Antigua? And I actually...
Sing what?
What do you mean to sing what?
Claudette Peters has had what is her most recent song? As opposed to Patrice with Machel.
Not You.
As opposed to Patrice with Ricardo Drew.
She has a popular song. Oh, you see, this is the problem. I'm the only person playing the song on the radio. Nobody even knows the song exists.
As opposed to Kes with Mental Day. Yeah.
No,
you're gonna lose that fight.
It's not. No, but it's not a false choice. I'm not saying not Kes. Don't get me wrong.
No,
Why-
I'm not saying
why? No,
not
I am
her.
not
I'm
saying.
saying you still
I
have
love
to
Kes.
balance crowd pleasers.
I'm actually surprised they booked Kes. I give them points for that because I really wasn't expecting Kes, to be honest.
Really?
No, I really don't have a lot of confidence in the people who picking these artists. I'm sorry.
No, I'm so sorry to hear.
Brutal
but
but true.
I'm totally happy with this.
I don't
list.
care.
So I'm really sorry to hear.
We don't live in
that
North
you're
Korea.
not.
I like to say we don't live in North Korea, so if people can't handle it. Sorry.
Nobody's fighting
I'm
with
gonna-
you.
no,
I'm
no,
just
no.
trying to figure out,
but
like,
the thing is,
why would you object to, or why would, for me, right? I don't know of anything that Claudette Peters has sung recently, and that might be because I'm not in touch with that part
exactly
of
because
it. But I know quite a few soca songs because I'm a soca lover. And I haven't heard it being played anywhere.
Listen,
I just came back from Trinidad Carnival. I have been in touch with people in Antigua because their carnival is coming up, and I have not heard the song.
Candy,
I'm sorry.
I'm a reasonable person. Listen, I am brutally honest, whether it's good or bad. I actually, when I didn't see Bungie Garden, you know, the first thing I said in my mind, he probably isn't available. He's probably booked out.
Right. Well, that is the reigning soca.
My go-to was not, oh, these people are jokers, but like I said,
I mean,
I'm actually pleasantly surprised to see Kes on the list because I love Kes. As
maybe
far as I'm
yeah.
concerned, you could bring Kes every.
yeah, me
You
too.
could bring
I'm
Kes
biased
every
like that.
year.
Yeah.
Right.
But you know, you're probably right with the Bungie part, but you might be right with the Claudette Peters part too. Because Antigua's Carnival is coming up, so maybe there are fringe events happening around that time.
I find we treat the Antiguan artists. Given that they're so close and the Antigans tend to come over here.
Isn't Ricardo Drew Antiguan?
Yeah, but he's just one. But I mean, I actually take because when the person said Claudia Peters, actually I was like, actually that's not a bad idea, because let's face it, the same way they could bring Air Supply with all these maybe hard tugging songs that everybody remembers from when they were growing up, or maybe the older people remember when they were in their 20s or whatever. It's the same thing for Claudette Peters, and Claudette Peters is not even old. She's probably a little about your age, or a little younger than you.
You better say that.
Yeah.
You better add that.
No, I mean, something got a hold on me. Come on.
Okay,
You know that
yeah,
song.
yeah.
It's
Fair
something
enough.
that song alone. That song alone is worth the price of admission to see Claudette. And she's a very, very effervescent, dynamic performer, you know?
I think I've only seen her perform once. And yeah.
Yeah.
But let's assume that it was booking issues. I still think we did pretty well. I mean, but Bungie would have been nice, but maybe like Bungie Claudette is booked out because, like I said, their carnival is around the same time.
And
Bungie is like the reigning
road match winner. Yeah,
road match
so
person.
it's possible that he's.
So,
yeah, that's
right.
what I'm thinking.
But you know, to be honest, like I like Heartfelt. The only thing I can't do with Heartfelt is because I can't sing it, because you know that whole rapping part that he going on with, and he's like da, 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 right? But Nyla had a pretty decent song. I love Nyla's song. I love Skinny Fabulous and Nyla. You know,
thank you. Good to see Nyla as well.
Combo.
Good to see Nyla.
Totally obsessed with Kes.
Have you ever had Nessa Preppy?
No.
You haven't?
Did she come here? I can't remember her ever being here. But I saw her perform recently. I think, like, I only know like 2 of her songs. Everybody
the new
knows
song. She has a good new song.
The new one is good.
What's it called again? Something flavor. I've been playing it a lot.
Don't even hold me to that.
Nice song, and it actually has a similar feel to the other big song,
right?
Without sounding like she's
right.
Like she's what's the term they use?
Repeating.
Yes.
So
you know that's a very hard thing to do, right?
Listen, I'll give Nessa Preppy props, and I'll tell you why. Right. So I'm in Trinidad for Carnival. Everybody's coming out, and they're calling all the popular countries, like, anybody from da da da. And she was like the only artist that said Sinkis, because all night I have been complaining,
serious?
right? I was like, hello, how can you get that close to say Antigua and not say Sinkis? So I'm complaining all night, right?
Yeah.
And then she's the only artist that comes on and says, anybody from Sinkis? I'm like, yeah, we gonna call. My cousins are cracking up at me, right? They're like, look, they call you. So I'm like all hyped now, right? I'm like, yes, Sinkis was mentioned.
So you said yes twice then?
I'm screaming like I'm bursting my throat, right? Yeah. I was like, I figured there are enough people in the crowd to scream for Guyana. Let me scream out for Sinkis, right? When I look to the front of the crowd, somebody has a Sinkis flag. I'm like, oh, that's why she said Sinkis.
Oh.
But I'm not gonna take back her points. So she gets a couple points. I also felt kind of compelled to, support her, because she had recently had an issue with her manager / boyfriend at a performance in Trinidad before, like one of the fringe events of Carnival. And I hated to see the way the band treated her and the way her manager treated her. Because, I'm still a big advocate for women's rights. So I'm like, what in God's name is happening here? So when I saw her come on and do such a great performance, and then, she got the little points for saying, sing kids, I'm definitely a fan now. I mean, I liked her song before, but now I'm kind of like always like just looking out to see what's going to happen next with her. So,
But if you notice, I'm speaking from experience, if you notice that they haven't broken them out in days yet, so I have a feeling they may actually be trying to add one or two more. Don't be surprised, especially on the hip hop front. That's what I'm thinking.
So this is why you're still petitioning for Chris? You think we have Chris money? We can't have Chris
but
and Burna
I'm glad
Boy?
you, because that's the point I wanted to make, and I had forgotten. One of the missions of the music festival is to bring people here during the off season, right? It was never really about necessarily being directly profitable from the door. It was about creating multiplier effects in the economy during the slow season. And I'm thinking for a landmark year like the 25th anniversary, okay, they sprung for Burna Boy. You could have sprung for Chris Brown. You could have sprung for argument's sake. For argument's sake, you could have sprung for Beyonce. I'm just saying, for argument's sake, you could have sprung for Bruno Mars. It's a lot of money, but I'm thinking about the multiplier effects. If you look at the original mission statement of the St. Kitts Music Festival, it's not about, okay, we spent 10 million. We spent $10 million on the St. Kitts Music Festival this year. We want to make 15 million at the gate. It doesn't work like that. At least if you look at the mission statement, that's not how it's supposed to work. I'm not saying they should be throwing money around wantonly. I'm just saying, for the 25th anniversary, a landmark year, go above and beyond. Differentiation is what St. Kitts Music Festival should be looking at right now for the next. That should be there, meaning we should be booking artists. We already kind of did it without even intentionally doing it when we started back in the day. Booking artists that have never been in the Caribbean elsewhere.
So this is my take on it, right? And none of us really know what the procedure is because I've never been a part of it. I still believe that they have to balance pleasing the crowd, well, the majority, because some people are never going to be happy, right? No matter who you bring. They could book Jesus to come and sing and somebody can still have a problem, right? So it's about a balance, right? Between what we can afford, our budget, and who's going to bring out the crowds.
And look at what they did to Jesus last week, right?
Right? And if I was Jesus, even if they booked me, I probably ain't coming back, right? Right? So I think they're just trying to create a balance. But I am personally happy with what they've done. We have, I still don't know why people are complaining because we have a good amount of local artists who knows, a scout might see them, somebody might want to collaborate with them, one of these more established artists. So we have a good amount of local artists. We have a good amount of regional artists. And we have an awesome international artist because he's been making the rounds in the Caribbean. So maybe his price was, Caribbean suited because he's been making the rounds in the Caribbean.
That's a good point.
So I think they did a good job.
Works. Sometimes when a promoter brings an artist into, let's say, the sub-region here, sometimes if they end up in multiple bookings, you could end up getting a break because they say, okay, I'm going to the OECA, so I'm going to the Caribbean, or I'm going to end up going to do 8 dates. So okay, I could probably knock off a little something off the
exactly. So we don't know what their
but I still
what pressure they were under, but for the 25th year, I think we have a good balance. We're getting quantity and quality, even though you might disagree. The list is pretty long because when I was looking at it yesterday, I was like, wow, the first wave has quite an extensive list because I love coffee. I love Chronics. Skinny's recent song was, really good. And the second wave is pretty big as well.
Skinny was
Skinny Fabulous and Nyla, right?
I have to refresh my memory with the first list. I have to go back and look at it.
Look at this.
Yes, Skinny,
they have not increased the price of the ticket.
Yeah, but that's another thing.
So,
I actually was making
what
this
else
point.
could we possibly
I was
want?
making that point yesterday about the differentiation, but that's another thing that's
But
going to have to change.
I could understand, because there are music lovers out there. I could understand for the need for the differentiation because it's the 25th year. It seems like any other music festival, but I've seen mixed reviews. I've seen where persons are satisfied. I've seen where persons are not so satisfied. As you said before, it really goes on taste, and you could never please everyone. But I would say that for 25 years, there should be some sort of differentiation, some distinction. But again, I'm sure major
Money,
planning had to go into it. And
Who would
money
you
is-
have liked to see? Because I already grilled Jamster. So I don't know what your taste in music is. For me, I love every type of music. And I think I've said this before. And Jamster is still trying to convince me about the whole...
He wants Jason Mraz.
Jason Mraz is lit.
I'm just kidding.
So who would you have liked to see?
I mean, my taste is probably different to a lot of people.
That's all right.
No, seriously.
let's
Give
hear.
it a stab, like two. Call
if,
like two.
if I'm to listen to anybody, I mean, Rihanna right now is pregnant, so she's out.
Yeah.
I would like to see Beyonce here one of these days.
Yeah.
Adele, I like
Yeah,
Adele.
good point.
She's a very good vocalist. I think she would really hit. I like, those kind of music. So
Nice.
Yeah, but I mean, I think in terms of the marketing and the establishing of this is our 25th year, 25 years of the music festival, perhaps there could have been a greater distinction. But I'm sure that persons are satisfied. Some persons are satisfied with what the product is. And yeah.
I think they're more than satisfied because remember, and I was very shocked because I expected them to say, okay, we're going to take the ticket price up by, even if they had said $65 or even take it up to 100 US, right?
But here's the other thing.
So I was very surprised when Marsha mentioned that the ticket price remains the same.
Which is good because, when
So-
you go to shows overseas, you won't get ticket prices for that. So the ticket price remaining the same is a good thing.
I mean, AZ, you know how much a Beyonce ticket costs?
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So that's
yes.
why I mentioned
Yes.
that
Was it me and I
because
were talking
so-
about that a few days ago?
so
last week?
when Beyonce's concert was announced,
Yes.
people were bending over backwards to get the tickets. And remember, like my little sister, she's graduating in May, and she called me. She's like, "Oh, I know what I want for my graduation prize." I was like, "Okay, present. What do you want?" Beyonce tickets. I was like, I started coughing. Right? I was like, "Girl,
Yeah. So
you want me to mortgage the house?" And then she actually found some decent price tickets.
Yes.
So as soon as she found them, she messaged me. She was like, Candy, look, what about these? And the tickets cost, I think the ones that she found, they started at like $250, 250 US. And that is, of course, that's not like at the front, because those probably went first. But it was 250 US, 250, 275 US.
So it is commendable that regardless of the years, the price has remained constant and affordable. Because as you say, these concerts would in other places cost much more.
Precisely, because
So-
if they were going to bring Beyonce here, let me tell you, you cannot expect to pay $125 to go to the People Festival for a Beyonce.
Yes.
Right?
So we
So-
have to manage expectations with what we're actually paying for.
I remember, right? Jazzy told me one time when he was in the States, 'cause he has musical associates in the States, and they took him to a Steely Dan concert. You guys know who Steely Dan is? Yeah. Took him to a Steely Dan concert, right? And he told me the ticket was like $850. I was like, what?
Yeah, those.
And not to say Steely Dan isn't relevant, but I mean, they're like a legacy act, right? They're like, their heyday was like the 70s, you could say, and then maybe 80s, and they've had 2 albums in the 2000s. And then one of them died. But imagine these people, great music. I have some of their albums, but wicked music. But $850. I mean, these guys are making.
Yeah, so it's commendable that the ticket prices remain the same, and that we're able to have our 25th. It's just that in terms of marketing and excitement, perhaps to feel that big 25 in terms of the marketing aspect.
Well, I mean, it remains to be seen. We're now in April. I know there are a bunch of fringe events that are going to be happening. So let's see what happens. But still,
Here was
awesome
someone-
job, commendable job.
Here was someone said about Claudette, the Claudette idea. Claudette ain't got no hit recently, and they don't hire us anyway, which I agreed with. I actually responded to that. My response to that was, yeah, this alone is enough, but we're full of crap pushing our own music. So you,
So that's an Antiguan that says they don't hire us anyways.
no, a petition. Yeah.
But when it comes to music, music is varied. People got different tastes, and it's hard to please everyone. You'll never please everyone when it comes to music because it's such a wide span. Yeah.
Of course.
You
can't.
They're also going to something. He said, he says the list is final. My big story is that 11 of the 29 acts are homegrown, and music festival cannot afford $2 million artists in the same year. I take the point.
Yeah.
But
Thank
I
you.
also think that in the future they really should look at the differentiation angle, honestly. And if you can't afford $2 million now, maybe you didn't have the mindset to say, well, hey, let's put aside $10 million for the music festival. Let's see what happens 1 year. We'll try the differentiation path and see what happens. So
How much million for music festival?
he was saying,
I seen
You
a
better
comment.
don't let the farmers hear you because the farmers want 75 million. You want us to put aside 10 million for music festival?
Just for argument's sake, I'm saying. And then the other thing is, you don't have to have all these artists. You could have 3 artists per night. You have a big artist spread out. So you book 3 mega artists for each night, the headliner for each night. Then you have, maybe 4 artists tonight. You have,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
I mean, if you look
see
at
what
the
I'm
Facebook
saying.
page, a comment by one of the persons on the Facebook page says, you really can't please everyone,
That's true.
people just like to complain about everything possible. Goes on to say, you guys complaining about Burna Boy, you think they're going to rest easy with Beyonce, which I found very funny.
But we're not complaining about Burna Boy. Before you came, we were like, cool. All I was saying was he was around, but that doesn't mean he's not going to go down well. I know
Somebody
he's gonna
else said most of them who are complaining will be the first to enter the gates.
But
they pushed on other people probably, right?
but listen to this. So this is a comment.
Yes.
According to the minister, they
Yes.
haven't gotten an exit report from the last music fest yet,
That is
and
true.
they
She said that.
still owe 700,000.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she did say
So
that. Yeah.
y'all better take these artists that I think are excellent and be happy.
No, as again, I said, when it comes to music selection, people vary. I mean, my choices might not be the choices of others. In terms of the music and the artists, okay. I just said, in terms of the marketing, I'm agreeing with Jamso's point. In terms of the marketing, we could have had a bigger build up to the 25th.
Maybe
because
that's true.
we had a first wave, then a long
A
period
long
of
lull, yeah.
really down. So I mean, in terms of the marketing aspect of it, I think that's where improvement could have been, and that's my opinion. Other persons may disagree.
No, that you have a point there, right? The other thing, and this is actually from the GM, tourism season ends in April. Music festival is in June.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a way to still bring persons back to the island.
Yeah.
So to tie back into what you just said, the marketing maybe needs to be boosted a little bit because tourism season is going to end in April. It's not going to start back until October. So in order to get persons back to the island, they really need to push this 25 years.
Especially as the 25 years and
And
the
I know-
lull that we had.
Well, they've added a bunch of flights, but I heard that some of those tickets are already booked out, so they're still trying to add more.
Well, I would hope that it comes off successfully, because if it comes off successfully, it benefits the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, and that is what we want.
Precisely, that is the end goal. So kudos to them. Good luck in all of your endeavors.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to get to Music Fest.
Yes.
So,
Yes, definitely. So, which night are you most?
well, they haven't assigned the persons to the
Yeah, I
nights,
know
right?
they haven't.
But we already know that Thursday night is gonna be
And see,
Cass.
that is what I'm meaning in terms of
Patrice.
marketing. Persons already would know in their mind, if they're not taking a season pass or going all 3 nights, which night. I mean, you could perhaps guess based on what has been done in
Right.
the
So
past.
we know that Thursday night is jump up night.
Yes.
Friday is kind of like in between, and then Saturday is mellow
Yeah.
out. But what I've noticed that they've been doing, which is absolutely brilliant, they've been mixing them because I think last music festival they put Masika on a Thursday night. I think it was, if my memory serves me correctly.
Yes.
Because they still want persons to go every night, so you can't really break it in such clean cut stages, because then only a certain amount of persons gonna go on Thursday night, because they're gonna be the soca lovers, and what happens on the next night when no soca lovers want to turn up, because that's a night where it gonna be chronics and the 420 people.
Yeah, so I'm
so
okay.
So right. So they're probably gonna mix it up because they want everybody to support every night.
Yeah, so we have
right?
a Facebook comment saying that you have a point, but once again it goes on to the availability of artists. And we have a WINNFM comment that says Beyonce was reportedly paid $24 million per hour in a performance in Dubai. Are we being realistic in what international artists cost?
Exactly.
Yeah, but we all know that that's like a super premium type thing, right?
Exactly.
Yes. Right,
So, at the end of the day, I think based on what they had to work with, they did a pretty good job.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, but I'm just saying we're just giving critiques.
Yeah,
Things for them to think about going forward.
And
there's
saying,
absolutely nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Right, not
So
saying that.
my critique would be, as we wrap up, the marketing should have been better in terms of the first wave,
The lead
and
up
then
to, right.
the second wave we had a lull. And so in terms of marketing in the future, I think, for the 25 years, we should have been pushing more so persons would be more, everything in order quickly, quickly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so it's 8:35, and we've got Peter Jenkins in studio. He's here to talk about. He's gonna have a brief chat, telling us about this CFBC, the Clarence Fitzroy Bryant Leadership Program. And we're gonna be having some athletes.
We are.
Yes, we have one outside already.
Yeah, so we're going to
yeah.
really have a good program.
All right then, and good morning.
Good morning, Peter.
And welcome.
Good morning, Mr. Jenkins. How are you?
Good morning to both of you, and thank you for the work that you do in informing the nation.
Thank you so much, sir.
Peter is one of my uncles from small days, like Jessica, like Professor Jessica.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. So it's great to have you in studio this morning. Tell us what you're here to talk about.
So it's a privilege really to be here, and I want to thank you for the opportunity, and to thank WINNFM also and Jamster for his privilege extended, or privileges. Firstly, I wanted to congratulate the Carifta athletes on their performances. However, I would like to make one suggestion that the Athletic Association, along with the Olympic Committee, embark on a national consultation in terms of the way forward for athletics. I have observed the Davis Olympics and what has happened at Carifta, and over the years, I think that the nation has an opportunity to make a quantum leap. But I think that they need to engage the general public in listening, and this is one of the things that we teach in our course. When you ask someone, what do you think, it does not necessarily mean that you don't know what to do. But their answer, along with yours, improves the information that you have available to make an informed decision. And so I suggest that they do this consultation, get buy-in from the public, so that when the decisions are made in terms of what direction they are going into, they would have the support of the public and the parents and the students. So that's just my aside. But today, I'm really representing the CFBC Jenkins Limited Leadership Program. This is our 10th anniversary, and so we're having a number of celebrations. The first activity was in March. We went to church at the Wesley Methodist Church and gave God thanks for the opportunity to serve our country in this way. for 10 years. And then we had a toast to the new Commissioner of Police, Commissioner Sutton, who was a member of Cohort 2. Wow. So, and I must say he is the only police officer above the rank of inspector who have done the program. I'm not saying because he did the program he's commissioner, but I'm just saying he did the program and he is commissioner. Right?
So you do the math.
So, yeah.
I'm not saying that. I don't make that come from me, right?
Yeah. But of course, it's good that you could toot that to say that you're one of the persons who would have undertaken the program have risen to the rank of Commissioner of Police.
Yes, well, it was a good feeling, and the folks turned out, and we had a toast to him and wished him well in his endeavors. The next activity, which is the reason why I'm here this morning, is that we are having a professional development workshop next week, Thursday, the 20th, and it will be held at Ross University. This activity is being spearheaded by my daughter, Reja, but I call her Onika Jenkins, but she, along with Lady Phillip, they are responsible for this workshop.
Oh.
Yes.
Now, the topics, there are going to be 5 topics. Finance and investment, that's going to be handled by Terence Crosman. Leadership challenges, Venicia Walters from the Nevis Cooperative Credit Union, former chairperson. Physical health by Dr. Patrick Martin. There will be a section also on mental health. Personal awareness and self-management by Alonzo Alexander. This is a youngster out of Central Bastille, close to the park.
Yes,
works at the
since
Lille
he was
Walwyn.
a baby almost.
Yeah, tremendous potential this youngster has. And I think he has a lot to share, and so he's going to be doing that section. I am going to try to deal with management and leadership principles.
Yes.
And so those will be the five topics. To register, you can either call 465-2385 or email cfbcjenkinsleadership@gmail.com. cfbcjenkins, the word spelled out, leadership@gmail.com. The cost is only $250. The registration so far has been excellent. We have a few more spaces. We can take as many as 50. So if you are interested, you need to move quickly to secure your spots. We have persons registered from Nevis as well, which is a good sign. And we're encouraging the general public to get involved. You may ask, well, who can benefit? And we think that leaders at various levels can learn from persons across various industries and areas that will help them in their professional and personal lives. So,
I think that the selection, the 5 areas pretty much covers almost anything and everything that a leader would need or somebody aspiring to that would need to progress.
And these soft skills are really important as we, try to make the workforce more professional.
Well, as we traverse this road, sometimes being able to identify what is not said rather than what is said, because what is not said more often than not is more important than what is said.
Yes.
So being able to identify those, as you said, the soft skills, the skills that enables you to identify the tea leaves, where they're moving, what's happening in the room, being able to walk into the room and analyze the room without even anyone saying anything. Those are the things that the leadership in any organization requires so that they can move forward. So that's the activity for next week, and we encourage the general public to get involved. Sometimes it's just one sentence that can transform the lives of somebody or someone's life. Just one sentence. Yeah. So we ask that you take advantage of the opportunity. The second event is a public lecture, CFBC Jenkins Limited Leadership Program in partnership with the University of the West Indies Open Campus, St. Kitts and Nevis. And we will hold a public lecture on. I'm really grateful to the University of the West Indies for partnering with us, showing appreciation for the work that we have been doing over the past 10 years. and they've agreed to partner with us with this public lecture. The topic, and as an aspiring, I'm not sure if you are aspiring, but as an aspiring, I think this might be useful. Small open economies in challenging geoeconomic and geopolitical environments. A case for St. Kitts and Nevis and its CARIFORUM partners in pursuing growth and development. And the date is Thursday, the 27th of April. And it's going to be at the CFBC Burden Street. Time is 7 p.m. I'm not sure if we're going to have refreshments yet. Depends on some deep pockets that we are trying to.
Sounds like
get
a
into.
very interesting discussion.
It's a mouthful and it's definitely interesting. Are they going to be streaming it or?
Yeah, hopefully we're going to. Be most likely on the UE platform and the CFBC platform and the Jenkins Leadership Program platform as well.
I must say it's very commendable, the program. I've heard about the program for a number of years. You say it's in the 10th year, right? And so, to have a program that is so long-lasting, and so, I see persons who are part of it as we interview the cohorts previously. We're excited about the program, and that I think that speaks well about what you're doing, Mr. Jenkins.
Well, it's not me.
And others, yes, and others. Yes.
It's been a collaboration.
Yes.
You know what stood out for me is the variety. It's not just open to a select few or a specific age group, because even the persons that visited us, they were different ages and at different places in their lives, and were under different disciplines. But everybody found that the course was good enough for them to pull away from and to, progress.
And you see the interest that they have even after graduating from the course, that they continue to do the work.
One of the things are, to you again, and others listening, it took me 7 years to get the courage to go up to the college and say, listen, I have a homegrown program that I can present. I want to do this for my country.
Yes.
It was when we were celebrating our independence 30, I said, now is the time. I have to do it. But it took me 7 years.
Yeah.
And part of that was, why are they going to say, what you know about leadership? It's only overseas people could tell us things about leadership and so on. What you know about that? Yeah, what? And that insecurity.
All the doubts.
Yeah. It took me. So in life, there is that, and there comes a point when you have to make the decision and take the plunge.
Yes.
And we did that, and with the help of so many people, volunteer their service free, not a cent.
I like that story.
Yeah? So
it means that you just have to take
bite
that
the
plunge.
bullet, go for it. Time is now.
And sometimes it's not ideal. You don't have all the information, but make a decision.
Yes.
And having made a decision, then what you see before you, then you adjust accordingly. Yeah. Don't stand back and say, well, I'm not doing it because I don't have this and I don't have that. By the time you have that, the moment has gone.
Thank you. This is very true, and for anybody that has gone into their own business, I'm sure they can relate. Very true.
As owners of businesses ourselves.
Yes. I remember I started up my business at home, and I'm actually your neighbor. I live like right across the roundabout there.
Okay.
And I started my business at home, and I would do photo shoots on my veranda. People would pass and be like, "What in the Lord's name is she doing?" Right? And my mom was like, "You gotta get out," because we had like a spare room in the house, so that's where I was.
Yes.
And I was like, but I need a place where I can display.
Yes.
So I'm hunting up and down, and then find my mother was like, all right, I'm gonna start charging you rent.
And then
so you gotta get out. I was like, boy, let me go.
There's something that you have internally that asks you the question, if not now, when?
When, right.
If not now, when? When are you going to do it?
And I see this course. I remember the last, one of the girls that came in from the last cohort, she's pretty young. And she did most of the talking in the interview. She was very vocal, very enthusiastic. And I was like, wow.
Yes.
And she would say she's shy, eh?
That's Kimani.
Yes.
Yes. I was joking about that up to yesterday. We had a co-group meeting. So continuing just to complete, because I know Jam still has me on the time.
Yes.
So the lecture is going to be done by a Dr. Samuel Scott. This is another story. We were at university together at the University of the West Indies, St. Augustine campus. We graduated together in 1980. He came back. He came to sing. He's from Jamaica.
Yes.
And came to St. Kitts for his first job. So he feels that he has to, as he calls me Geno. Geno, I have to come and show support, give you support for this program that you're doing. He's an international consultant working in over 50-something countries, and he does entrepreneurship, which is one of the areas that he specializes in. And he's been to over more than 50 countries, specializing in agriculture. Wow. So he's going to come to deal with this topic for us, and we hope that the general public and the wider Caribbean can benefit from his international experience. Awesome. The last two activities, I'm not sure if you all are young enough or old enough. We used to have institutions like the Black and White Heart and Hand Society, St. George's Palm Lodge, which were institutions at the time formed to look after the interests of our people, right? There's a lot of talk about we being run over by other people. This is an effort for us, and the course has been also, but we want to put an organization together of all persons passing through the leadership course, so that when they have issues of health, issues of banking, starting up new businesses, etc., they turn to this organization rather than having to be putting and boxing all over the place. So we want to launch this on the 29th. And Dr. Scott is going to be doing most of the setting up for me. And he's going to be looking at entrepreneurship, because we have to create wealth. We have to create wealth. We have to create wealth. And try to see how we can pass it on from one generation to the next. The examples are in the world with the other people. We can do the same thing. The last point, before I get carried away. Dame Marcella Liebert has agreed to allow us the use of Government House and the lawns of Government House on the 27th of May for a fundraiser. And this fundraiser would be a dinner gala. The proceeds will go towards Icons Park, which is in... Yes. We want to expand it, we want to renovate it, and have funds to maintain it. We don't want to be dependent on having to call people to maintain this thing. We want to be able to maintain it ourselves. So the proceeds will go towards that, and also towards the support of the leadership program, because we do give scholarships every year. Yeah. I want to thank both of you for this opportunity, and more importantly, the work that you do in having a link with the population and trying to get our people to see how brilliant they are, how good they are, and what it is that they can achieve just by putting their minds to it. Yeah. Thank you very much. And I know before you started you had doubts, but I guess now daily those doubts are receding, you know, and you're beginning to look towards the new horizon. I want to thank you again, and to thank WINNFM Jamster. But very seriously, thank you for the privilege and the courtesy extended. All right? And we look forward to registration for the seminar next week, and we hope that we can make a difference in someone's
Thank
lives.
you,
Definitely.
Mr. Jenkins.
Thank you. And it sounds very intriguing. I love that topic. I feel like it's very timely. And to add on to what he said, I think you definitely should go.
Yes, the 27th.
And he need to bring along some other people.
Agreed. No arguments there.
Peter, before you leave, would you do something for me when you go outside?
Certainly.
Do me a favor. You know that little bit you talked about the athletics at the top? Please say it to Delwayne outside, the president of the...
Well, just let me say something.
I think he's on the same page.
Let me say something else. I think I have some knowledge in sport and in sport administration at the international level, right? Some people have ignored that and have not sought to use it. But the Hull sisters out of Nevis, they are trying to become professional tennis players, and they have sought my assistance, and so we have put together a group to buttress them, consisting of Paul Trapman, Vernel Pauli Nevis, Watkins Shiverton from the Tennis Association, Mr. Pedro Hazel from the Ministry of Sports, etc. We're trying to buttress them. Right now they are at a high performance center in Mexico. That's where they are, trying to hone their skills with an international coach to bring them to the level. So those are the ingredients. You know, these ingredients I have spoken about. that will take them to the international level.
Yes.
So there's capacity, potential in our country, our small country, that has always been. One of the things is that the knowledge was hidden from us, right? Now the knowledge is available in the world. If you can't buy it, you borrow it, you lease it, you rent it, but make sure you have the knowledge to put with the product, to develop the product. I close.
Okay. Yes.
Right?
Thank you,
very
Mr.
much.
Jenkins.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for popping
So,
in today.
yes. So we are having now the St. Kitts Nevis Athletic Association representatives. We are going to have the sportsmen and women. We are going to have athletes in here. We are going to have the president himself, Mr. Delwayne Delaney.
I can tell
And we
you're
could-
hyped.
Yeah, and we could ask the number one question.
How many medals did we actually win?
What's our placement? Yes. Yes.
Yay! Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Welcome.
I am absolutely loving this. I
Yes.
can't wait for our audience to see you guys. So grab a seat and put on some headphones.
Yes, yes, yes. So make sure we have enough. So guys, we're here. We're here with the SKN Athletic Association. We're here with the athletes. You know, they performed very well at the Carifta Games held in the Bahamas. And of course, we want to acknowledge what they have done and what they continue to do, because we saw them perform in the Bahamas, and that's one day. But in order to get there, it takes many days of training.
So that means you didn't look at interschool, because I looked at interschool
Oh,
and
yes,
I saw them.
Of course, you know, interschool was a big
I'm
thing.
pulling him out now.
But, you know, it wasn't streamed live, so I saw the videos and everything that
You have
was
to have
happening.
connections.
Yes.
All right, good morning, guys. Welcome. You guys you're looking so much younger than you did on television. So say good morning to our audience and introduce yourself, and we'll save the president for last.
Hi, good morning everyone. My name is Deshna Thomas and I am 13 years old.
Oh wow, 13. And you are?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Akane Samuel Francis, and I am 15 years old.
Wow, nicely done. And you are, sir?
I'm Delwayne Delaney. I won't give my age.
Not after those
I
introductions.
know,
No,
right?
no, no.
Definitely not.
President SKN Athletics.
Yes.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. We've been calling your name in here since last week, right? Because, so full disclosure, we're totally hyped to have you guys here. We have been talking about Carifta for the last maybe 2 weeks. We are extremely proud of you guys, and we can't thank you enough for representing St. Kitts. I have been calling your name. I'm pretty sure I've been saying it incorrectly. I said Akanye, Akinde, every version of it. The guy who won gold, right? And, well, I know your name really well because you've been on my WhatsApp status, because a lot of persons have been putting up Deschanel. They're like, look out for Deschanel, look out for Deschanel. So I am very excited to have you guys with us today. So tell us a little bit about how the experience was. What was your event, and how the whole thing went down?
So my event was the 400-meter hurdles, where I placed first.
How was it? Were you scared? Were you nervous? Did you know you were going to win?
Well, at first I was a bit nervous, and I didn't really know I would have won. But when I saw that I was in first, it encouraged me to push more.
Nice. Nicely done. And what about you, Deschanel?
I did the 400 and 200 meter and I did
Wow.
the 400 and 200 meter. I did a personal best in both, and to say that I was the youngest there, I am proud of myself. That I
As
did
you
well.
should
Yes.
be. Wow.
Commendable. You know, I know of Mr. Samuels because his mother is from Old Road. She grew up on the same project that I did.
Wow.
So when I realized that that was her son, I'm like, wow, imagine coming from such a humbling beginning and doing so well on the international and regional stage. I think that these two young people should be commended.
We are very happy to have you guys here. So, Mr. President,
Yes.
give us some idea as to. I'm not going to ask the question. I'm going to leave that one for last because everybody wants to know that one. But tell us what preparation was like. How did you? What was the selection process like?
So the preparation was a bit hectic in the fact that, we would have had the inter-school championships, then the Rams primary championships, and then the following week we went off to Carifta. So we didn't really have much preparation as a team, right? We understood that, most persons would have had their separate programs, and we didn't want to interfere too much into that. We would have met as a team a few times. I think we met in Nevis as a group, and once or twice here in St. Kitts before leaving. So the preparation was good, but it wasn't as a unit because of circumstances beyond our control. We would have had the Carifta trials a couple weeks prior to, where most persons, leading up, persons would have qualified as well, but the Carifta trials, was the main selection pool, although we would have taken a look at other meets that we would have competed in throughout the year. And so, these two individuals, along with the team, we couldn't get the entire team here today because, we all spread out and that sort of thing. But, the team did a remarkable job. All of them should be on the remarkable teens.
Agreed. Listen.
And the thing about it, as he said, teenagers, we're looking at these persons on the camera and they look so, so grown up.
I know, when she walked in, I was like, but she still has all her baby features, right?
Yes.
So out of what you just said, when are Carifta trials done? Because I know it was done because I think they had the selection before inter-school. And I only know this because I stalk your status, right? and Patrice's.
Yes.
So I knew that they had the Carifta selection before. And then I know they had inter-school. So when were the Carifta selections done?
We had an extension, and most countries had an extension because of where their championships would have lied. As I said, the main thing would be the Carifta trials. I can't quite remember the date, but I think it might have been maybe 2 to 3 weeks before the inter-school. Understanding though, and it's only because we understand that at inter-school you perhaps get your best performances because of the crowd, the hype, the school, the competition level and that sort of thing. And so we have to now look at where do we set the inter-school in relation to the selection of the Carifta team. Also, I think next year Carifta Easter falls earlier next year. And so we have to do a bit of tweaking to ensure that we get the best performances going into the Carifta Games. Also, we don't want it to be too close to the Carifta Games because then, these athletes would have run in odd events, so to speak, because they are at the best within their schools. And so, for instance, Deschanel would have competed in long jump. She's not necessarily a long jumper, right? And because she's an athlete, one of the better athletes, she would compete and do well in those odd events. And so you don't want to burn out the athletes. And so we have to be very careful in terms of how we plan moving forward.
So Delroy, let me ask you, as a former athlete yourself, how is the experience as president now, grooming and shaping young talents, same in which you will have been groomed and shaped?
It's an exciting one. The future of SKN athletics and track and field on a whole is very, very bright. Believe me, next year I'm very optimistic in terms of what the athletes can do, and these two athletes are returning in their same categories. Deschanel has, I think, 2 more years in the under-17. Kenya have 1 more year in the under-17, the same categories that they competed in. Deschanel perhaps was if maybe I haven't checked all the data, but perhaps the youngest medalist at the Carifta Games.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
At 13 years. And so you get excited knowing that, hey, you know, you have to hold on these talented individuals. And what you see at the Carifta Games is just a snippet, because the potential is, I mean, huge.
So let me just tell you, I was up there doing some decor, completely off. You know, this is not my thing. I'm up there doing decor. And I saw Kim Collins up there. So, of course, you know, I guess maybe it's the hidden journalist in me. I roped him into a conversation. And then I realized he was helping train. And I know you, professional athlete in your own rank. I was like, wait. So they have all of this talent up here. I'm really not surprised that you guys perform so well. I think you guys had some of the best persons taking you under your wing and training you. I don't know when Delwyn sleeps, because he's always going.
Yes.
So I think you guys are well positioned, and it's just now for you to add that training with your talent. And I think we saw that on display. So now the burning question. What is our final medal count?
We've had this debate over and over again, and we've seen statistics on various platforms and saying that St. Kitts and Nevis has 5 medals, we are 4th. And then when we look at the actual information, we're saying 1. We only could identify Mr. Samuel.
Yes,
so what is our
really
placement?
What I think happened,
Yes.
we came away with 3 medals. 1 of each, 1 gold, 1 silver, 1 bronze. But what I think happened is that the system calculated our wins as goals in the multis events. Because if you have to think about it, we have 5 gold medals according to what we saw.
Yes.
And Kanye would of course account for 1. Jamad won the 1500, he won the high jump, and he won the 400 meters, right? The 400 meters. And Jazawa would have won the javelin in that competition. So it only makes sense that, you know, that's where where the calculation comes in.
So is there going to be, so can we take that as the official, what we're seeing as the official that St. Kitts came 4th? Can we brag about coming 4th? You know?
I mean, brag away.
But you know, so one of the things that bothered me about Carifta, and I think a lot of persons, were the disqualifications and the taking back of the medals, because I mean I was paying attention, and in my head, Jazara won the heptathlon. Akanye, I saw Deschanel, I saw Jalen, this other guy Jermaine, and I'm just like, well, what is this nonsense now with disqualification, and why they making Jalen run again? And I think everybody else wants to know. So,
yeah. So the disqualification of Jazara was a lane violation, where she would have stepped over in a competitor's lane, and she was disqualified.
While running or before?
While running at the start of the race, right? Very unfortunate, because she would have worked very hard to get in medal contention, and we knew that the Trinidadian was in striking distance, because going into that last event, she was in the bronze medal position. We knew that she couldn't do no worse than bronze after that event, but there was a possibility of moving up from bronze to silver. She won the event, and her competitor, the athlete who was in silver position, she came some distance behind. So that propelled her into the silver position. And we were all excited until we learned about possible disqualification. And we were all saddened and dampened the spirits going into day 3. But I mean, I guess that's the nature of the game. That's the nature of the sport. And the rules are the rules. As it relates to Bennett's situation, the start list presented to us omitted his name, right? And it was only until we saw his name on the screen that we understood that he made it to the finals.
Yeah.
So apparently, the finish line team had the corrected version, while the call room one had the wrong version of the start list. And so it was updated to include Bennett without us knowing, without us being notified until we saw his name on the screen. And so we lodged a protest.
Of course.
Immediately.
I was about to say we need a lawyer on this team now.
Yeah, we lodged a protest, and one of the requests was that he would have to run by himself. It would have been very difficult to rerun the race based on the time span as well, because there were so many protests happening at that same time. By the time it got finalized and went to the jury of appeal and that sort of thing, because it's not that we state a claim and they said, okay, he has to go through the ranks and through the protocol, and for them to determine what's the next move.
It's just a bit unfortunate, because even though he had the opportunity to run the race alone, the adrenaline when you're running with others and to know that someone is next to you and you're trying to beat out, you can't replace that. So that cannot be replaced, and that would have been.
So mentally, you're already kind of off.
Yes.
Right. No, my question is, these rules, and I mean, a lot of us have been complaining about it, but most of us that are complaining, we're not really in the know to say, well, these are the athletics rules. This is what we're going to be governed by. Are these rules that have always been in existence, and are the athletes fully aware of them? Like, do they know this before going in? So when they're training, you're like, stay in your lane, that type of thing?
I think perhaps with Claxton's lane violation, perhaps it was just a lapse in a bit of concentration, because the 800 first lap runs in lane and then you cut in at the 300-meter mark. So I think it was just perhaps a little lapse in concentration. You have to remember that this would have been event number 7, after a long day, a long 2 days, actually. And, we live and we learn, and then we come back stronger.
But we do know of these rules.
Don't.
These rules, and these are not new rules that Carifta anybody have put in place.
There's a rule book, and these are the rules that the sport is governed by.
So when you're training, Chanel knows that she has to stay in her lane and she can't. Well, I mean, I know the basic rules for long jump and triple jump, haven't done them like years ago, but so everybody is aware of it.
Yes. Let me ask a question to our young athletes. How was the experience for you in the Bahamas? What do you want to tell persons listening? Because you have a lot of fans now, Not that you didn't have before, but you have such a large fan base now. So how was your experience in the Bahamas?
So my experience, it was a very good experience. I felt that we met a lot of new people from different countries, and overall it was just a good experience.
So do you have new friends now? Are you guys going to keep in contact? Or was it just like, all right, team spirit on field and then off field?
Yeah.
You have new friends now?
Yes.
And you're totally hyped to going back to Carifta?
Yes.
What do you do in your off season? Still train?
Yes, I still train.
So even when you've been back, or you take a couple days to rest now?
Yeah, I took a couple days to rest.
What about you, Chanel?
It was a very interesting and a good experience. I met new friends and made new contacts, and yeah, it was good.
So were you the youngest there? Because we're still wondering. So all of the persons that you met there, they were older than you?
Yes.
Did you ask them any advice, or was it just, let's not talk about this, we're just going to talk about other things?
I tried to stay focused, so I didn't really talk about it.
What's going through your head when you're racing down the track?
Just to have a positive mindset that I could come first, even though I'm the youngest.
Nice. So all you're thinking about is, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this.
Yes, because you could be small and taller.
Let me ask you guys, when you guys medal, how was that feeling? How was that feeling when you get that medal placed around your neck, or when you understood that you are now a medalist? How did that feel?
It felt amazing. It felt like a dream. I couldn't believe that I actually won the race.
Nice. And then you had your St. Kitts flag draped over you. Like, I think I would have had an out-of-body experience. Like, I didn't even hear what's going on.
you know, as you mentioned that he had the Sings flag over him, and then I saw him hugging two of his competitors.
Yes, I saw that.
And I said, you know, look at that, Sings and Nevis. Even though he would have won, he's showing his competitors, you know, this was a good game, a good race and stuff like that.
What I remembered about Kanye's performance, and I think I posted it either on WhatsApp or Facebook from last year. He came fifth in the 400-meter hurdles, and his teammate Jamad Huggins came third. And after the race, he went to Jamad and he was hugging him and congratulating him, right? And knowing that, you know, I didn't medal, but you medaled, and I'm happy for you. And now here we are, a year later, he capturing gold.
I know. I saw that. I mean, I was looking at the race, right, and I'm screaming. I don't even know why, right? But I'm screaming. I'm like, oh, Lord, please don't let him knock down any. Please don't let him stumble. Because I think somebody at the back stumbled. I was like, just pull away. Don't let him throw you down. Right? We are so proud of you. I think Sinkis is so proud. I don't think we've ever had a team that did this well. So I am definitely expecting more. I'm telling you guys right now, I'm expecting more gold, more silver, more bronze, better performance, everything next year. So Deschanel, you're on a break now too, or are you back to training?
But Deschanel didn't tell us how he felt when she was being medaled. Tell us.
It felt amazing to be up on the podium in front of such a big crowd. So it felt nice to be up there.
So the stadiums were full?
Oh.
Yeah.
And you weren't nervous?
No.
Wow. What goes through your head when you're going over those hurdles?
Just try to keep me cool. Try not to fall. Try to keep my farm going over, and that I would do it. I would do well.
Nice. And how high is the hurdle? Because it's difficult already running, and you still got to run and then pause to jump over and then run again.
Yeah.
How high is it?
I think it's 0.86 meters.
The height? Yeah.
Height. Yeah, I think it's 0.86 meters off the ground.
Yeah, so and what, 3-4 feet? What?
Yeah, maybe about waist height, a little more than waist height.
A little lower than waist.
A little lower than waist height. And then when you go into the category, they go up one. So you go up in age, you go the hurdles go up in height as well.
And how tall are you?
I don't know.
Because I'm really amazed at anybody that can do hurdles, right? Because it's bad enough. You got to run, keep your form, stay in your lane, keep your composure, but then you still have to take a little slow down, go over the hurdle, and then speed up again. So that is a well-deserved goal. Do you have siblings?
Yes.
What number are you? How many siblings do you have?
First.
So you're the
I'm
firstborn?
The oldest, yes.
So what is it like now that you're back home? King of the house now? Because I mean, I have my gold medal.
Yes.
What is it like? And how's your family treating you? Do you want me to petition for them to treat you better? Like, you know, like I'm now the king of the house. I have the gold medal.
You sit down.
The breakfast in bed. What's it like? Tell us.
It's still the same, but I just get treated better now.
Less chores? What about you, Deschanel? Do you have siblings? And what's your family treatment like now?
I have 3 siblings. I'm the second. And it's not really, it didn't change, but still a little better.
So, wait, they're still making you guys do chores? Do you want me to call them?
Not really.
So we want to
Listen,
say
thank you so much.
Congratulations. Keep your head on. You are now, not that you weren't seen, but having performed at the level that you have, persons are admiring you. You have younger persons who are looking up to you, who are hoping to one day do what you have done. And so you have to remain dedicated, remain focused. There are going to be temptation, but I want you to continue being on the good road and trying to make yourself, your family, your friends, and your country proud, because you guys have done an amazing, amazing job.
Yes, you guys are now ambassadors and role models. So everybody's going to be looking at you. So whatever you put out there now, that's what's going to stay out there. I mean, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of pressure on the president now.
Yes.
Even more.
Yes. Heavy, see who wears the crown.
I know.
Right,
But thank you so much for bringing them along. I mean, you guys are still on Easter vacation, so you probably wanted to sleep. But thank you so much for
Thank you
coming
so
in
much
today.
for coming.
No
Thank
problem.
you.
Thank you for having
We'll
us.
take a short break, and then we'll get back with our other guests.
And congratulations once again to the rest of the team and the president. And we're going to have to invite you back for sure.
Of course.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Need to make a plea for,
Funding, right?
funding.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
Do you want to improve the quality of your water? Is buying bottled water costing you a fortune? Say no to bottled water and yes to Tap Water Caribbean and Espo Water Solutions. We offer eco-friendly filtration products such as our Ultra Filter or our Bottle Pro for at home or on the go. Fill up anywhere. We also have a Shower Pro designed to protect and give you healthy skin. Visit us today at tapwatercaribbean.com or on Facebook and Instagram. Let's drink clean, pure, healthy water together. Remember, go green, save money, and save our planet.
It's 9:19. Island Tea continues. We have we're taking so. Actually, I'll let you guys see a little bit of that. That could be fun, right? We have our hosts taking some pictures in there, and we have Shaq Basu Benjamin, who he's a member of the Retired Police Association. He's on our next segment, and he actually wanted to take a picture of the athlete. So those of you watching online, let you get a little look, a little gander at the goings on. But next segment, the Retired Police Association, Shaq Basu Benjamin, is joining us. 9:20, and this day part is brought to you by Tap Water Caribbean.
Yeah.
The questions you sent me last night is for Shaq, right?
And as I was saying, we're joined by Shaq Basu Benjamin. He just got his shot of adrenaline, taking a picture with the athletes.
Yeah, these are our local celebrities, so have to take the opportunity to snap that shot.
Good morning, Shaq. How are you doing?
Good morning, Shaq.
Good morning. I'm doing great. Just a bit hoarse. I had to support the athletes that just left. So.
Yes.
This hoarseness is from the motorcade.
Yes.
Oh my.
Well, we just had a big discussion in here about athletics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Shaq is a social media person. He is, he's a popular social media personnel. So he follows, what's trending and everything. So, he had to be there to capture that moment.
Definitely.
Yes.
So introduce yourself to our listening audience and tell them why you're visiting us this morning.
Good morning to your audience. I'm Shaq Basu Benjamin, and I'm here representing the Retired Police and Fire Retirees Association. I'm PRO, so I'm here just to let you know a little bit of what's going on with the association.
Yes.
So sorry that you lost your voice. It was for a good cause. So tell us what exactly this is and just give us a brief background on it.
Right. The association is basically made up of retired police officers and fire officers. They were came together in 2014, and this would have been due to persons who are now retired. Before they were retired, they would have visited persons who are retired and recognized that there's a need for a support system, because persons who would have retired, they were just left alone and believe that there's no life after retirement. So the association was formed to let folks know that there is such an association, to let you know that there is life after retirement. And it was official. It was made official in November of 2018.
Awesome. So tell us, who are the members of the executive on this association?
Right. The executive is made up of 7 individuals. We have Austin Williams, the president. We have McLean Hobson, vice president. Joseph Richardson, treasurer. We have Natalie Ford, the secretary. Leroy Benjamin, chaplain. Ivor Blake, member, and myself, like I said before, PRO.
Awesome. Austin Williams, he is, what was his rank?
The former commissioner of police.
That's what I thought. Yes. That's what I thought when he said that name.
Yes.
I thought former commissioner of police. So I just, wow, see, you have, former top cap.
Yes.
As the president.
Right. And you guys have been formed officially since 2018.
2018, yes.
Wow. So give us some background as into, okay, so you said you formed it because it was retirees and you wanted them to know that there was life after retirement. But what are the aims and objectives of your association?
Right. The aims and objectives are to really strengthen the association and to bring togetherness amongst its members. We just don't want to be an association where persons come, they join, and that's it. We promote togetherness, so that persons can come together and reminisce on the old times that they had while they serve in the police and the fire department.
Interesting. So how does someone become a member? As soon as you retire, you automatically a member, or you have to?
No. Now, to become a member, you have to fill an application form, and you can get that form from any one of the executive members, or for that matter, you can contact any member of the association and they will guide you accordingly. So once you would have received that form, you'll fill that form, and the registration is just a small $20 to register and become a member. And once you have become a member, there's an annual fee of just $150. Just $12.50 a month.
Yeah.
Not bad at all.
So what are the benefits of becoming a member? Because, the person is now a retired police. They're now filling out the application form. They're now paying that $150 a year. What are some of the benefits?
Right. One of the major benefits is our care package. Persons are extremely happy to receive care packages. You should see their faces just lit up once they would have received that care package. We also support family members. When it comes to death, you have a death in the family, you can rest assured that the association is here to lend that support. You also get an opportunity to participate in our monthly walk. The last Saturday in each month, we have a health walk, and persons need to be, kept in shape, not just go home and sit down. Yeah. So you get an opportunity to.
When Shaq spoke about the care packages, my mother is a retired police officer, so I think she would have received one of them if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so
nice.
Yeah,
very good. So you don't know what I speak about.
Exactly.
The faces are lit.
Yes.
Right. But when he's talking about the health walk, I'm like, is it harder than a regular walk? Because these are people who are accustomed to going through training now, right? So,
well, all that training just comes right back. It's not. Nice. It's not difficult. It's not a difficult walk. It starts at the police training complex, and it ends at Bob's in Frigate Bay.
Yeah, not too bad.
Not too difficult.
So tell me something. You guys have been in existence well before and formally established 2018. What are some of what's some of the progress that you've made so far, and do you have a big outreach? So persons who they retire, they move overseas, are they still allowed to join? And
of course, like I mentioned earlier, We have progressed in the care package, the giving of care packages, birthday packages. Once it's your birthday, we'll visit you and you'll get something nice. Persons overseas, we do encourage them to join. Now, every member of the association knows someone who would have retired and left. We do encourage our members to reach out to them and join the association. Also, our Facebook page, we encourage persons there to join the association. And you can log on and check us out on Facebook. It's Retired St. Kitts and Nevis Police Force Officers Association.
You read my mind, because I was wondering, like, how would they be able to see some of the things that you guys are engaged in that would entice them to join?
Right,
so you have social media.
Yes, we do.
Awesome. So you're on Facebook.
Yes.
Awesome. How often do you guys meet here?
We try to meet once per month.
Okay.
However, due to the COVID-19, that slowed down a bit. We did virtual meetings. We just got back into face-to-face meetings, and we met on the 29th of last month for the first time in a long time. So we do meet once per month.
Nice. Let me ask you, how is the consultative process? Because, as former police officers, I know that there's engagement with current police officers. So when it comes to the consultation as relates to the bylaws, it's a voluntary process for the retired officers. But what are some of the challenges in, meeting with the current police officers, giving your opinions?
Well, I won't say there's any challenge. As a matter of fact, we met with the Commissioner of Police just yesterday.
Yeah.
So and he received us very, very well, and he pledged to work with us. Now, you mentioned that it's voluntary, and what is the challenge? Challenges. One of the challenges being voluntary is that persons fail to pay their dues. So we do encourage persons to pay the dues. That way, the association can, keep going. Also, to get persons to attend to meetings, it's a challenge. Again, like you said, it's voluntary, and you can't force anybody to do what they don't want to do. But we do encourage them to not only just be a member, but an active member.
I know you speak about membership, and we've touched that before. And as you talk about the dues, I know that's something that plagues every organization, to have financially paid up members. So let me ask you this: how many members are actually registered? If you could remember, just give us a ballpark figure, if you could, if that.
Right, we have about 100 registered members.
Okay.
But of course, we are still seeking to grow membership.
Yes, amazing.
What are some of the things that you guys are doing to grow that membership?
Like I said, we do reach out to retired officers who are not yet a part of the association. Not only that, but persons who are presently in the forces and are about to retire. We try our best to target those persons to inform them of the association, so that when they would have retired, they can come straight over to the association.
Awesome.
Okay, nice.
So, for those persons listening, we are speaking with Shaq. He is the PRO of the retired St. Kitts and Nevis Police Force and Fire Services. So we're here. If you're interested in calling in, you could let us know. You could call our phone lines. You could speak to him. Yes. So Shaq, if you have any final words that you want to give, this is the opportunity to do so.
Yes. Let me take this opportunity to appeal to the authorities in assisting us in getting a building that we can call our home. We are really, really in need of a place where we can gather. So we are asking the authorities just to assist us in getting a place that we can call home, and also again to encourage persons to join the association. It's a support system, that you can rest assured that looks after its members.
Yes.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Thank you so much for coming in today. When I saw you, I was like, he's coming to talk about retirees. Like, you look too young to be retired. But I guess it doesn't, retirement doesn't have an age, right?
Those who know Shat know that he was the former police assigned to the Honorable Dr. Denzel Douglas when he was Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis.
Yes.
Ah.
So Shaq has been there.
Thank you so much for coming in today and sharing this information with us. For those of you who are retired or very close to retirement, reach out to them, and there are lots of benefits. And I feel like you guys are properly organized and ready and rearing to go. So good luck with that. Hopefully you get your building soon.
Thank you.
Yes.
Have a good one
Thank
today.
you so much, Shaq. All the best.
Thanks.
So we have our next guests. We are going to talk to persons from the fire services. We always have our fire talk at this time, But in preparation of that, I'm looking at our Facebook wall because I'm trying to ensure that I get the comments that persons are making so we could engage.
Okay, but wait, no, we have to take a break because we got to hear from our sponsor. We're gonna have time because
Yes.
I really would like to get to the comments actually. So let's get a word, and we have Fireproof coming up next.
Yes.
Do you want to improve the quality of your water? Is buying bottled water costing you a fortune? Say no to bottled water and yes to Tap Water Caribbean and Espol Water Solutions. We offer eco-friendly filtration products such as our Ultra Filter or our Bottle Pro for at home or on the go. Fill up anywhere. We also have a Shower Pro designed to protect and give you healthy skin. Visit us today at tapwatercaribbean.com or on Facebook and Instagram. Let's drink clean, pure, healthy water together. Remember, go green, save money, and save our planet.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Hey kids, drink healthy!
Reduce sugar chubby with the same great taste. Lots of magic fruity flavors, drink the more healthy way.
It tastes so yummy, chubby, chubby.
25% less sugar chubby. Be active, be healthy, drink lots of chubby. Kicking, football, playing cricket, having fun in the sun.
It's chubby.
Reduced sugar chubby keeps you cool and refreshed.
It tastes so yummy, chubby, chubby.
25% less sugar chubby. Jumping rope, running races, have fun.
It tastes so yummy, chubby.
Drink the more healthy way.
And it's 9:35. We're doing pretty good with time considering. It's time for Fireproof and...
Right.
Good morning, officer. How are you doing?
Hey, good morning, Jamster. I'm fine. I'm doing well.
Okay, and...
Welcome,
Fireproof.
TGIF. I'm sure you're happy it's Friday
pleasure
too.
to be here. Pleasure to be here.
So you had we had a safe week, I hope.
Funny you asked that. We were just drilling him on that in here.
It has not been fire free. And I actually saw where one of the fires were during this week.
Oh,
I
wow.
actually saw them in action.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Well, I guess there goes your no fires in Old Road, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, Timothy.
Right
Thank
there
you.
on Monday when we had the Easter
You
holiday.
probably jinxed them because you were going on and
just
on
about to
about
say
no
that.
fires in Old Road.
And then there it is, the fire station pulling up, and I'm like, wow, what's happening? And then I see the
Exactly.
lampposts sparking.
But there weren't any casualties or anything.
No casualties.
Thank heavens.
Yeah.
So tell us what your topic is today.
All right, so today we are going to look at, hazards that persons might overlook, things that they might be doing and not realizing that it can create a cause of fire happening. So, and we want to encourage the public to call in and chime in on this as much as possible as well. Feel free to share any experiences that you had, because sharing experiences, it could also help us as well, being able to mitigate against such things.
Wow. So everyday activities that can be fire hazards.
Right.
So what are some of those?
Now, let's touch on this one. For example, where persons might be ironing. Some of us, at times, we tend to iron our clothes on the bed, right? So whether it is that we are just in a rush, we don't have time to set up the ironing board, and we iron our clothes on the bed.
Guilty.
Mm-hmm.
I have a burn to prove it, so I've stopped.
So you may very well leave the heater on the bed, and you might go off to do something else. Now the bed is not a solid object, so that heater could topple onto the hot side of the heater and catch the bed afire. All right.
Wow.
So that is one thing that we want persons to be mindful of. So if you have to iron, make sure that one, you use the appropriate measures for ironing. Get a heater, ironing board, and do your ironing there.
Listen, I'm sure that happens more often than not. You guys should take stats for that. And you're right. The way you described it is perfect. You're in a rush. Nobody wants to set up the ironing board. It's just a little top, right? So plug in the iron, do your ironing on the bed. Iron falls over.
Of course, yeah.
It happens. I'm sure it happens more often than you guys actually know.
Exactly.
I think this burn on my leg is gonna go with me to my grave. And so what are some, listen, lesson learned though.
Yeah.
Lesson learned. What are some of the others?
No, persons, sometimes you might see around your stove, you might have ants, and this could be two ways. One, you flit the area, but then you're planning to use the stove right away as well. So after flitting, you go and you scratch a match. Now the flit, whether it's BAP or any other type of insecticide, is flammable. And when you scratch that match without letting the area ventilate enough, that can cause a fire in the kitchen area or wherever it is you are planning to light that match.
Wow.
Ever thought about that?
No. You know, for me, I'm not a flip person. I'm asthmatic, right? But I can almost see it happening in my head. Like the things you're describing are scenes from Final Destination.
Wow. You should be a consultant on the next one.
Wow. Yeah, so that's one way. And then
let's look at the same scenario where you may have already have the stove alight, right? And you recognize insects around. Ants, for example. Ants are always there to follow something sweet that you might have thrown away, etc. And while the stove is already lit, you go and you spray in that general area. Once that flit reaches that open flame, you can have that, that combustion taking place. And you could just have a fireball in your kitchen.
Wow.
Insane.
And I could see that happening because, maybe you see a centipede and something, and you the impetuous thing to do is, grab the flip because you don't want to go and interact with it physically.
Remembering the fires right there.
Exactly. So I could see that,
And flit is a good way to kill centipedes, Yeah, as long as they smell that, it takes them no time.
I just usually take my shoe and
listen, and I'm screaming as I'm hitting, right? So the neighbors must want to know what is going on over there, right? I'm screaming, I'm hitting, I'm yelling. Listen, it's horrible. No, I just use 7 now. It's a lot quieter in my neighborhood.
Sprinkle some around the doors, the windows.
And actually, what I just said is what my wife does, so I could see that happening, where maybe she sees something in the kitchen and the stove is lit. So yeah, boy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So,
Oh gosh.
It's a good thing we're doing this one today.
Something to pay attention.
Please pass the message on, Jamster. What are some others, Timothy? These are, everyday things that we do and we don't realize. Hello, you're creating a fire hazard.
Now, let's look at a 9-volt battery. Those square batteries that you could put in your smoke detector and...
some flashlights require them,
right,
like
some
transistor radios. Yeah.
Right. Now, depending on how you store those, let's say that you have some just put in a drawer, and you might have even steel wool close by. It only takes something metallic to steel base to touch on the positive and negative outputs of those batteries, and you would have that arcing taking place.
Wow.
There is.
I did not know that.
Sometime back, we saw on international news where a house got burnt down just by some 9-volt batteries. The gentleman had some in a drawer and had steel wool and different things in the drawer, and shuffling up things, and so they got contact with one another, and that actually caught the house afire. And it's only after they did the investigation as to how that fire actually started, they recognized it was from a 9-volt battery.
Not to take you off topic, but how do you guys forensically, if you have a fire and you're assuming that a lot of these fires are pretty completist in the way they consume everything, how do you guys arrive at knowing that cause, for example?
It's a lot of science behind it. Fire actually burns in a particular way, and then given the temperature that it gives off, you could actually trace back where the origin of the fire is.
Wow.
And especially if you use accelerants, like let's say whether gasoline kerosene, whatever accelerant that you use, it burns in a particular way. So with the persons who are trained in that field can actually recreate a scenario.
Wow. Now you're talking about this 9-volt battery. I'm racking my brain. Like, do I have any in the house? Where do I have them? Because I don't think there's any steel wool next to them, but I still want to know where in the world do I have them?
It doesn't have to be steel wool. Something that is able to is metallic also, that it touches both.
Maybe
both
a piece
at the
of
same
crumpled
time.
up foil might have been
Foil
in the same
paper,
drawer.
exactly.
I could see that.
What's a good place to store batteries? Because I'm really stressed out now.
Just be mindful as to where you put them.
See, the problem with those batteries is that the two poles are on the same
On the same
one side, so it's a lot
side.
more likely that could happen.
Well, I'm really hoping.
Whereas the regular type, the round ones, they are on opposing ends.
Right. So guys, look at where you have your 9-volt batteries so that you're not panicking right now like I am. I don't think I have any. I don't think I have any.
Of course.
But yeah, so 9-volt batteries. Do you have any others on that list?
There's a few more, but we have a call.
You have a call? Oh, sure. Hello, caller.
Greetings. Sorry to interrupt. Thanks for taking our call.
Never that.
Thanks for the information flowing. Island tea is good. Everybody good?
Yes. The tea is brewing today.
How are you?
I am good. I'm pricelessly blessed. And watch here. You must practice that more in your life. Say you have to bless to be stressed. You're using the word that too much stress.
Amen.
Okay.
Thank you. Agreed.
Take that stress pad out of your life.
Right.
Try it out the window. Try it out the door.
That's right.
It kills. What you know? We notice we live a blast here. We know there's other fire station, other parts of the place, but we notice the fire truck moving out regularly.
That is true.
Often we hear in the fire truck. So what kind of fire going on? What is happening with fires? And we want to wish the association, we missed the interview there. And you should take cards when you have them kind of people there, because the same thing you take cards now. We want to wish the association all the best. And we want to implore the association to carry forward a request to take force out of the police thing there. That word force, it needs to be removed. It is not a positive word. And we don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
All the best, fireman in the house.
Thank you very much, man.
Work with care. Rise your work. Here comes
Thanks
fire
much.
danger.
Agreed.
Appreciate your sentiment.
Thank you so much for your call. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have seen you guys moving around quite a bit and out of Bastille because I'm in camps. So I see when you guys are blazing down.
Heading down, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we still want to encourage the general public, to be mindful of lighting fires. They're not the sole reason for us being on the road, but that's one of the major reasons fires being lit. All right. We have had instances where we might be responding to a report of an incident, but it is actually a drill as well. So we do involve our appliances where drills are concerned. So one, we need to be on par with our response time to incidents, no matter where they are.
Mm-hmm. We have another call. Fireproof, you're on the air.
Hello.
Hello, caller.
Hello.
Hey.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I want to give some advice. 7 is among the deadliest poisons around.
Yes.
We use it very carelessly because we don't know no better. Even the way it is sold, you're not supposed to have it in your house. You're not supposed to inhale that dust. 7 is among the deadliest poisons around. It's like lanate, fluoridan. So is 7. Don't put 7 in your house.
Wow.
Have a good day.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
I am a farmer. Farmers know. We have the charts, the poison charts. Farmer know.
Wow.
That's all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thanks a lot. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I definitely can only imagine how poisonous it is because it kills a variety of things. I actually have it thrown outside around my house.
The house, yeah.
Yeah.
I actually don't.
And it's
really
stored outside in a shed, but but thank you for that
and
call.
The warnings are on
poisonous.
it.
Yes. Yes.
I don't deal with that.
Well, Azard is a shoe guy, right?
He's a shoe person.
I just take something and hit it. I figured that the centipede is much slower than I am.
You would like to think that. And listen,
Yeah,
I'm putting him on my speed dial, and next time I see a centipede.
For some reason, I feel like, I'm always there to spot it just before. Just in time.
What if you don't spot it?
That's
Exactly. But they move really, really fast. I mean, except like the big ones, but the small ones, that's one of the reasons why I'm screaming, because it's like as I'm hitting, it's still running. So I'm screaming and running behind
If I
it.
tell you guys what happened last week, I'll tell you guys after the show. But
Wow, but centipedes are pretty
centipede.
fast.
Yeah.
I'm not a flit person though, because I'm asthmatic, so I don't really like to mess with it. If I spray it, I'll spray it before I'm leaving the house, so it'll diffuse into the
By the
once
time
I'm
we get
out.
back.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But
All right,
yeah.
so another one I want to touch on is for persons who use curling irons and blow dryers. Now, when you plug up those equipment items, they get really hot. They generate a lot of heat. So you have to be mindful as to where you're putting them.
I really hope my sister's listening.
So after you curled your hair, your hair have that extra bounce in it, and so it's still plugged in, and you just rest it down on maybe a piece of cloth or something,
And leave.
And leave. That could also be dangerous. Could catch fire.
Call over right ahead, Fireproof. Yeah, sorry.
Good morning to everyone.
Good morning.
How are you?
I hear talking. I'm good. I'm talking about the fire in the centipede. Fire. Rubbing alcohol is very dangerous too.
Yes.
Yeah, we know
Yes.
in terms of it's really flammable.
Yeah, because I remember a senior, they don't know. She went to rub with it and she went to she stove and about 70% of her body.
Wow.
gone.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so a lot of
So
people
sorry
don't
to
know
hear.
rubbing alcohol.
Yeah.
And the lady they're talking about the centipede. If you have centipede in your yard, go by TDC, they got a thing named demon lip. It's very, very good when you mix it with water, it turns like milk. And you spray it around your house. Anywhere that be, they won't come out.
Thank you, darling.
Whenever you think it, I was using it.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I mind them like 4 or 5 of them spread out in the yard.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, wherever it be, you can pull them out. You spray in the grass or around the side of your house, and you're going to see them just there flat out in the yard. Because I don't like them neither. I talking about them. I mean, who are bloody.
Thanks.
Oh,
Thanks for
no.
Thanks for telling me.
Thank you so much for that. We'll
And
definitely
when
use
you
that.
catch them, you must burn them.
You know, I was just about to say that. You
When
see them
burn
first.
you always see them before. You
Yes.
burn it. I was here in the living room yesterday, sitting on one crawling up by my foot, and I looked down and I spot it before he bite me.
Yes.
Anyhow, you burn them, you just see them before they bite you. So you do that. So here, go by TDC.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
Very,
you.
very good.
Maybe now Azard will give his shoes a break.
No, I've burned them before.
You know,
I
thank
go
you
for
so
the
much,
closest
honey.
shoe
Same to
and then
you.
just see a bam.
You know, I was gonna say that, but I didn't know if it was like an old wives' tale because, like, my dad told me that, like, back in the day. So no matter where I kill them, I always burn them. I will
Really? I never
transport
heard
them,
that.
transport them to the back door outside, and I'm burning
Is
them.
it like a superstition
I
thing?
don't know what it is, but I always see them
It's
first.
one of those myths.
So she's
you know?
absolutely right.
Yeah.
It works though.
I see them first too.
Yes. But yeah, that curling iron is dangerous.
Yeah.
I know that some of them come with like a specific rest that you can put them on. But I feel like a lot of women,
some persons, they don't have that rest. Sometimes they have a little stand on them
Yes.
that holds them upright.
Yeah, it's not really stable.
You're right, and you just put them down anyway, because you might be in a rush as well. So, persons got to be mindful of unplugging them after you finish using them. Be mindful of as to where you put them.
Okay. Caller, go right ahead. Fireproof.
Yeah. Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
I some trouble in. You could please give me your number. And then I some trouble up here with some Sink It Boy. And then trouble up Navy side up here with some Sink It Boy.
But this is
maybe
a
you
fire.
could call 911.
No. Me can't send nothing to the police them and Navy. Me can't send to them. Only I want to talk to. Yeah.
Okay, could you call 466-9586? And
Your number, I've been one. Your number.
no, what I'm
That's
saying
it,
is
call
this
it.
is Win FM. So call 466-9586, and they'll put you on to someone.
What number that Sink It number?
Yes, it's the Win FM, and ask for someone from the newsroom, and they'll speak to you. How about? Does that work?
What's that? The young girl, what talking there? Put them on.
No, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that because if you put her on, that means she won't be on the radio anymore.
Sharon in him?
No. Okay. Call 466-9586 and ask for someone in the newsroom.
Yeah.
Okay.
465-9586?
Yes.
Yes,
466-9586. Okay. Great.
Okay, have a good one.
Okay. Good luck.
Right
Okay. We have about 4 minutes left.
All right. So another aspect I want to touch on is where persons leave kitchen towels. Now, kitchen towels is something that is very handy around the kitchen, but where you place them could be very dangerous. Now, persons like to hang kitchen towels on the bar of the stove, right? For the oven. Now, persons might forget that there's a towel there, light the oven, and that heat that is generated from the oven could actually catch the kitchen towel afire.
Wow.
Also, two persons might have them on top of the stove, or they're cooking and they rest them right next to the burner that is lit. You know what could happen. You just envision.
Yeah. Yes.
So
Wow.
be mindful as to where you put kitchen towels, etc. Pieces of cloth that you have in the kitchen, rags.
Even the pot holders.
Pot holders, exactly.
Wow.
Yes.
This has been a very informative episode because it makes you think. You know, sometimes you're doing things absent-mindedly, like the lady that called in and said about the rubbing alcohol.
Yes.
I remember there was a social media challenge where people were putting that on.
We did speak about that right here.
Wow.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah, that was just before you joined.
So you put alcohol on your hand and you just go to scratch that match and, you know, you have fire on you.
Yeah.
Grief.
Wow. Quick question. So you all actually have forensic people on your staff?
We have
For
someone who is into you know the forensic side of it, and police is the main lead for investigating arson.
Okay.
However, we have a member of our staff on that team who does investigating work with them.
Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah. Okay.
Wow. So just to recap, regular items that can prove dangerous and start fires.
Yes.
So final recap. Let's
So
go through the list.
going through the list. So we have the irons on your bed.
Right.
Don't iron on your bed. Get an ironing board so that you could iron on. You have the curling iron and blow dryer. Be mindful to plug them out after use,
Right.
and to be mindful as to where you put them when you're using them. You have the 9-volt batteries. Be mindful as to where you store them. Another thing was the kitchen towels. Don't leave them near open flames, even on the oven door.
Yeah,
you
a
know,
lot
you
of
could
people like to
put
put them
them
there.
elsewhere. The using flit while you have an open flame, or using flit in a room and then going to scratch a match is very dangerous. So, and like the lady said, in terms of rubbing alcohol, if you have any rubbing alcohol, or you handled anything that was flammable with your bare hands, and actually go to scratch a match or go by the stove, don't practice that.
Wow.
I'm
Thank
surprised
you.
you don't have cigarettes on the list. Like people who, I mean, we've heard all the stories of people who fall asleep smoking in bed, and then
We can't have everything one time.
But cigarette is known. These are ones that people
might not
underestimate, I
think
would
of.
think.
Okay.
You
Fair
know?
enough.
Think about, right.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming in. It's always a pleasure. I always feel so informed after you guys leave, because it's like some of the things that you don't generally think about, and then, wow, it's right there,
It's right
you
there.
know? So, yeah.
So, yeah, and I want to thank you, Timothy, for coming out this morning. I've had such amazing, eye-opening experience, and so I think that the discussion was very fruitful. Looking at some of the comments on the Facebook page as we conclude, it says that Shelda Huggins says, congratulations on attaining goal. Congrats to the team SKN. We have Miss Howell says, professional and top level artists are booked years and months in advance. She also goes on
So
to
these
say,
are these are for the previous interviews.
yeah, she also goes on to say, this is ridiculous. We are 2 months before this big event, still guessing as to who and what will happen on each night. We have to come better than this. Are we serious about off-island visitors for this event? And she's referring to the music festival when we had the discussion. Again, I said it's the marketing and the packaging of the product that I think needed improvement on.
Interesting. Thank you so much again for tuning in today. Thank you, Timothy, for taking time out your busy schedule, because it seems as though you guys are always on your toes.
We got plenty to do.
Yes. hopefully these tips that you gave us today will cut back on some of the fires.
Indeed.
Right, so hopefully that the
Candy,
audience
there's a
was
comment
listening.
there by Jen Nice as well. Candy, you're looking lovely.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Janice.
And then there's one by Miss Franklin on the YouTube who says, yes, because I don't want to be running over any race. Oh, that was in relation to Jalen. Yes.
Character.
And she
Right.
says, yep, I'm listening. And she also said they are doing a great job. I'm very pleased with the list. So we have someone who's pleased with the list of lineup for the Music
Fest.
Festival. Yes. Mhm.
Thank you guys for tuning in today. Thank you for your comments.
Yes.
And thank you, Timothy. Thanks to
Yes.
all of our guests.
Guys,
Happy Friday, everyone.
Yes.
And someone finally noticed and verbalized that Candy actually looks pretty hot every day. And
Somebody
someone
said
actually
that?
said it. Well, that's remember he just did it.
Oh my, thank you.
meaning saying rather than having people going in there and talking a bunch of mess.
Yes.
I know my trolls, right?
But you know, she had a
Thank
comment
you.
the other day saying Candy keeps looking lovely.
I was like,
so you
Thank
know,
you guys. I'm trying.
you have
It's
your-
very
you-
early in the
you
morning.
have your admirers out there.
Thank
must,
you.
It must be in the tea.
Or maybe she just woke up like that.
Yes.
Hey. Thank you guys. Have an awesome weekend, everyone. See you
All
guys
right,
on
Tim.
Monday.
All right, man.
Yes.
And fire-free week.
I know. We're rooting
Yeah.
for you.
All right.
All right,
Yeah.
guys. Okay. Nice. Okay, it's 3 minutes after 10 o'clock. Provisionally, I'm going to say we're going to be having your view with Sandra Quealy, so we'll see what happens.
Yes. It's yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
That
Thank you.
sparked Azard to get out the seat.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Sardine have a new vibe. Brunswick Sardine have a new. Brunswick.